Is a second day of witness testimony in the federal sex trafficking trial against music mogul Sean Diddy Combs. Today, the prosecution's star witness, Combs' ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, is expected to take the stand. So far, 2 other witnesses have described incidents where Combs violently assaulted Ventura. Combs is accused of assaulting dozens of women and girls over decades. He's pleaded not guilty. NBC's Rahema Ellis is joining us from outside that courthouse in Manhattan, and also with us is defense attorney Misty Marris. Rahema, start us off. Who has testified so far, and what did they share?
The testimony so far, and day one being yesterday, we heard from the security guard who was there at the hotel in Los Angeles where that infamous video was recorded. He was asked to come to that floor because of a disturbance, and he reported that he had gone into the room where P. Diddy was with Cassie and seen that the room was somewhat disheveled. He pointed out that P. Diddy had offered him a stash of money to be quiet and not to talk about what he had seen. The second witness on the stand was a male escort, and he said that he had been paid thousands of dollars for several encounters between himself and Cassie Ventura, and that P. Diddy watched and he directed. And one of the things that he mentioned that was startling in it, he talked about an incident where Cassie was on her computer and she had been called by P. Diddy, who was in a different room. And he says that Mr. Combs came out of the room and that the male escort says, "I just saw a bottle fly past her and hit the wall." Mr. Combs pulled her into the bedroom, and I could hear him. And what I could hear what I could hear sounded like him slapping her. The prosecution asked him, "What did you hear?" And he says, "I hear Cassie saying, 'I'm sorry, I'm sorry.'" And then he, Mr. Combs, was basically saying an expletive, "When I tell you to come here, you come now, not later." The prosecution has elicited this kind of testimony from Mr. Phillips in an effort to prove that Cassie was someone who was being dominated by Sean Combs. And the interesting part of this also is that in opening statements yesterday, Ana, the defense basically owned it, saying that Diddy was indeed a jealous man and a violent man, but they said that that was a case of domestic violence, and it in no way was what he was being charged for, which was racketeering and sex trafficking, and that's not what this case is about. So now that witness has finished. We expect that Cassie Ventura herself will be on the witness stand at some point today. Ana?
Right, and she is expected to be the trial's star witness. What are the expectations for her testimony, Rahema?
The expectations are they will be explosive, that she will describe a relationship with Diddy Combs that began when she was 19 years old and lasted for about 11 years, that she was in love with him, but she was also terrified of him, according to the prosecution's opening statements, and that there was a lot of violence. According to the prosecution, that she was engaged in violence and different sexual encounters in order to please him, but at the same time felt threatened that she could not leave for fear that these sexual encounters that were being videotaped, that were being recorded, according to the prosecution's opening statement, she is expected to say that she didn't leave before fear that he would reveal these videos, and that would then ruin whatever career she was hoping to have. Ana?
So we are understanding there's a 10-minute break in the court right now after that last witness had wrapped up. Cassie Ventura could be next. Misty, you said her testimony is going to be huge.
It's going to be huge. It's actually the prosecution's star witness. So keep in mind what we're talking about. The statute of sex trafficking, engaging in commercial sex through force, fraud, or coercion. Cassie is the one who's going to establish those elements for the prosecution. Is this coercion or is this consent, as the defense says? So all of the testimony from yesterday, starting off with that explosive 2016 video from the Intercontinental Hotel, is in furtherance of corroborating her story. Were these incidents of isolated domestic violence between tumultuous romantic partners? Or is this something bigger that is part of a conspiracy and part of a sex trafficking ring where violence is used to make people, including Cassie, comply? She's the one who's going to explain that to the jury. She's with him 10 plus years. So she's going to talk about her own personal and intimate experiences, but she's also going to talk about how it's not just isolated to her. It's a much, much bigger conspiracy, which are the charges that the prosecutors brought.
I mean, Rahema talked about the defense in their opening statement, really pointing out that, yes, that video that we've all seen of Combs abusing Cassie Ventura in that hotel, that was, again, first shown on CNN, made public, that it is evidence of violence, domestic violence, they said. But domestic violence is not what he's charged with. He's charged with racketeering, sex trafficking. That's not evidence, they say, of sex trafficking, for example. Do you think that's a strong argument in his defense?
It's the argument they have to make, that it's a domestic dispute. They have to fall on the sword. The video is what it is. But let's talk about the video for a minute, because both in the opening statements as well as some of the testimony from yesterday, specifically from the security guard, speaks to this very issue. So Diddy's team on the defense side said, you're going to see text messages from that very day which show that this dispute that happened in the hallway, that terrible video, relates to jealousy in the relationship, has nothing to do with engaging in what the prosecutors call a freak-off or any sort of commercial sex act, where prosecutors say that video actually happened during a freak-off and that there was a male prostitute in the hotel room. So these are the types of distinctions that are being made, and something that the security guard was asked on the stand on direct for prosecutors, there was another man there. That's what he said. And then the defense on cross said, well, why wasn't that in your initial report? So you see, this is asking the jury to make this distinction between what would be state-level domestic violence assault charges or this bigger implication of a sex trafficking ring and criminal enterprise for the purposes of Diddy's sexual gratification. So it's a tough line to walk, but it's certainly what the defense needs to do. Their whole argument is you got to stay out of the bedroom. They're looking at the bedroom as a crime when it's just something that might be unseemly, but it's not criminal.
We'll see where this case goes, whether she takes the stand today and how that questioning goes. Misty Marris, thanks for being an expert analyst for us, I should say. Rahema Ellis, thank you for your reporting.